what I thought was going to be not a difficult hysterectomy. It didn't turn out that way. I ended up being flown to a bigger hospital due to excessive bleeding, blood clots. I had many surgeries. I had over 100 hospital admissions, and I hired Stack's Goudkamp because I didn't ask for this to be done to me. Some of the issues that were subject to my case was I had a lot of bowel surgeries which were unnecessary. At the time of the hysterectomy, medication was not prescribed correctly. Wound management was not performed correctly. They removed more of my bowel than what was actually necessary, and parts of my bowel were still working. Relating to my case, I now have a permanent ileostomy bag on the right side of my stomach, which means that I do not pass any faeces at all. It all comes through my stomach because my bowel is sitting outside of my stomach, collects into my bag. I went from being a carer of the elderly to being cared for by my husband at 42 years old. To care for an ileostomy on a patient is totally different to caring for an ileostomy on myself. My husband and I wake up a few times a night because my ileostomy has exploded. My husband is my full-time carer. I have a lot of nerve damage to my left leg, which restricts me to a wheelchair and a walking stick. The hardest part of my life was being treated by a surgeon for a number of years, having several surgeries, several drains put in because I also developed a fistula beside my ileostomy. For the surgeon to stand at the door and go, "I cannot fix you, Nicole. You are out of my league. I can't fix you." And he stood at the door and told me that. He did not even come into my room. My father had told me for 12 months to get a second opinion, but I believed this surgeon. He was qualified. I trusted him. I trusted his years of experience. I trusted every surgery that he'd done. But in the end, he done more damage than good. Then for him to tell me that he would refer me to a colorectal surgeon, that was in 2019. He told me that, and I'm still waiting for the phone call now for him to refer me to a colorectal surgeon. The colorectal surgeon that I found in Royal Prince Alfred Hospital told me that if I'd have came to him when I had the original hysterectomy, he would have been able to fix me and I wouldn't have ended up with an ileostomy. He also informed me not to have any more surgeries by any other surgeon except himself, and that he would be hesitant to operate on me again within a 10-year frame. What goes through my mind every day? It would scare you to know what I think. I hate myself as a woman. I no longer feel like a woman. I can't be there for my husband the way that I used to. I can't be there for my children or my grandchildren. When Stack's Goudkamp got the medical evidence for medical people to support my case, a weight had lifted off my shoulders to know that this wasn't my fault. If it wasn't for Stack's, especially Alicia and Kirsty, I wouldn't have got through this. I wouldn't have had the medical people to back me up to say that this was not my fault. This was their fault. I've always been told that it's very hard to sue the medical profession and you need a lot of money to start the court case. What a relief when I first spoke to the first solicitor for Stack's. She made me feel that I had a case. Yes, it was hard, but if it wasn't for Stack's Goudkamp, I wouldn't have got through this. I always receive phone calls, updates to where my case was up to. They only sent me to medical professionals that would back my case. They weren't unnecessary people. Every time I rang, the receptionist would put me through to my legal team. Emails were constantly going between myself and my legal team. Alicia would explain everything to me and I could understand everything that Alicia was saying. The mediation process was very scary, but I felt at ease when I got to the Goudkamp office. Everything was explained during the process, and the opposition even came and wished me all the best. My claim would not have gone in my favour if it wasn't for Goudkamp. The empathy and support that they have shown me over my 9-year claim, I cannot recommend them highly enough. They are gorgeous human beings. They support you. The communication is 10 out of 10. Do not feel guilty. My case was very, very complicated, and I felt that Goudkamp examined everything, every possibility. They were absolutely terrific. I would highly recommend Goudkamp. Do not be afraid.